Shalom. First off, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the hopeful elect that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And to all my brothers out here preaching this truth to you, I say Shalom. This is a Matazar from the Chicago camp coming back at you again with another lesson. This is part two of Future Prophecy, Specific People Not Reckoned Among the Nations. All right, so in part one, we talked about how in Christianity they want to keep you out of the Old Testament. Okay, and the reason why they want to keep you out of the Old Testament is because there's future prophecies for the specific people that are not reckoned among the nations. All right, by name, the Lord mentions Israel in the future prophecies. Okay, all right, and they are not reckoned with the nations. See, in Christianity, everybody is saved. Everybody can be saved. And saved from what? Okay. In Christianity, all right, there is no such thing as rulership and subjugation. All right. But Yahweh Shai said, ask of me and I will give thee the heathen. All right. For an inheritance. All right. In the book of Revelations, it tells you those who keep my commandments to the end, he's gonna give them a rod of iron so they can bash these heathen upon the head. Okay, roughly paraphrase. All right. So future prophecy, specific people not reckoned among the nations. In part one, at the very end, we looked into the definition of Christianity. All right. In Christianity, it says salvation, also called deliverance or redemption, is the saving of human beings from sin and its consequences, which include death and separation from the Most High. It says, by Christ's death and resurrection and the justification entailed by this salvation. Oh, that's all wrong. All right. All right. The salvation is for Israel. Okay. And only the elect, okay, are justified. All right. Those are the ones that's just justified and predestined, all right, for salvation. All right, the salvation is to Israel. All right, but we know that in Deuteronomy 33, they're going to be found liars. So one of the things that Christianity does is they love to take Paul's writings and ascribe them to everyone, the nations, when in fact Paul was writing to scattered Israelites. And every one of Paul's epistles in the very beginning, the salutation, all right, the greeting, all of his greetings are for the saints or for the called or for the elect, or you see, all of these mean the same thing. Okay. On this channel, I have I think it's a 3-part study about who the saints are. Okay. You got to know who the saints are. In Ephesians 1:1, Paul says that he's talking to the saints at Ephesus. Okay. All right. So Psalms 50:5, it says, gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. Who made a covenant with the Lord by sacrifice? The Israelites. Psalms 148:14, he also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, the people near unto him. Praise ye Yahweh. Okay. So you have to know who the saints are. All right. So we just read Psalms 50:5. Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. Let's see the covenant. Exodus 24:6. All right. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people. And they said, all that Yahweh have said will we do, and be obedient. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, behold, the blood of the covenant, which Yahweh have made with you concerning all these words. All right. So the Lord has covenants and promises that that's not going to change. Okay. He's going to keep his promise. And his promise was to the children of Israel. This is Leviticus 26:45. But I will for their sakes remember the covenant of their ancestors, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt in the sight of the heathen, that I might be their power. I am Yahweh. These are the statutes and the judgments and the laws which Yahweh made between him and the children of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses. Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 8. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their Lord shall reign forever. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he have care for his elect. The elect are the saints. All right? Grace and mercy is to the saints. Okay? Those who understand the truth are the saints. Those that's going to reign on the earth, okay, Revelations 5, 9, and 10, are the saints. Okay? That's who the saints are. So now, when we go into Ephesians, let's start Ephesians 1 and 1. Paul, an apostle of Yahushua HaMashiach, by the will of the Most High, to the saints which are at Ephesus, and to the faithful in Hamashiach Yahushua. That's how the letter opens up. So when you get to chapter 2, it says, and you hath he quickened, all right, or made alive, who were dead in trespasses and sins. Who was dead in trespasses and sins? Okay? Because the law was committed to Israelites. Okay? 1 John 3 and 4 says, whosoever committed sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law. So the law had to be committed to you, right? This is Galatians 4 and 4. But when the fullness of time was come, the Most High sent forth his Son, made of a woman, made under the law, for what? To redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons. And because ye are sons, the Most High have sent forth the Spirit of his Son into your hearts, crying, Abba, Father. All right? So Galatians 4 and 4 says that Yahushua was made under the law to redeem them that were under the law. Hebrews 9 and 15. It says, and for this cause, okay, or for this purpose, that's what that means. For this cause, he is the mediator of the New Testament, that by means of death, for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament, they which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance. You see, Hebrews 9 and 15 is saying that Yahushua is the mediator of the New Testament, all right, for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first. All right, so let's get back. That was Ephesians 2, all right, and 1. It says, where in time past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience, among whom also we all had our conversation in times past in the lust of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature the children of wrath, even as others. But the Most High, who is rich in mercy for his great love wherewith he loved us, even when we were dead in sin, have quickened us together with Hamashiach. By grace are ye saved. Now, verse 4 says, the Most High, who's rich in mercy for his great love wherewith he loved us. Who is he talking about? Again, he's talking about Israelites. Amos 3 and 1. Hear this word that Yahweh hath spoken against you, O children of Israel. See how the Lord is speaking to the children of Israel? Against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. The Lord says that he only knows Israel. So if he only loves Israel, what is this great love wherewith he loved us? Who is he talking about? He's talking about Israelites. Okay? Let's go to verse 11. Wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcised by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands. Who was called uncircumcised? Israelites were called uncircumcised. Who was the circumcision? The circumcision were the Jews, all right, who knew that they were Jews and who practiced the law, statutes, and commandments. All right. The Gentiles who were called uncircumcised, that's a title. How did they become uncircumcised? See, and that's where Christianity plays on your ignorance of the Apocrypha, because the Apocrypha explains how the Jews became Gentiles. Let's look at it. This is First Maccabees 1 and 44. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, to the end, okay, or to the point, they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. Now, what you just read here in First Maccabees 1 and 44 is the king sending these letters out that's stopping the Jews from practicing their religion. Okay? Practicing the law, statutes, and commandments that the Lord gave to the children of Israel. That's what you saw in Luke 1 and 68 when we went over Luke 1 and 68, saying that we will be saved from the hand of our enemies so we can do what? Worship him, okay, and in safety, apart from our enemies. This is Second Maccabees, all right? Because all right, if you were practicing, all right, if you were practicing any of these laws, statutes, and commandments, you would be put to death. This is Second Maccabees 6 and 6. It says, "Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feast. It should say feast, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew." See that? You couldn't even call yourself a Jew. That's why they were Gentiles. And whoso would not conform themselves to the manner of the Gentiles should be put to death. Then might a man have seen the present misery. This is First Maccabees 1 and 15. All right. You know what? I need to start at 11. First Maccabees 1 and 11. We're going to start there. All right, it says, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain other people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen. All right, and that place of exercise, all right, that place of exercise was the gymnasium where they worked out naked. 15, it says, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief. Okay? So this is how you had the them become the uncircumcised. All right, that's how they became the uncircumcised. Let's go back to Ephesians 2. All right. Um, all right. So now they were the uncircumcision. Galatians 2 and 7. But contrariwise, when they saw that the gospel of the uncircumcision was committed unto me, as the gospel of the circumcision was unto Peter. All right, that's when they had that understanding that Paul was going to go to the uncircumcision, all right, and Peter to the circumcision. Okay, so that's where this whole term uncircumcised, all right, Gentiles in the flesh who are called uncircumcised. They couldn't so two things happened. They made themselves uncircumcised when they forsook the holy covenant. And then after that, right, they weren't allowed to be circumcised. Okay? So you just got through reading where if you were circumcised, they will kill you and put you to death. Okay? So that there you have it. So therefore, let's go to second Ephesians 2 and 16. It says, and that he might reconcile. Reconcile is bringing back together again. Okay? All right? You can't reconcile somebody that was never part of anything. Okay? Now, therefore, ye are no more strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the saints and of the household of the Most High. All right? So, Ephesians 2, or the understanding of Ephesians 2, okay, is important because you have to know who Paul is talking about. Psalm 77 and 15. Thou hast with thine arm redeemed thy people, the sons of Jacob and Joseph. Selah. Okay. This is, let's go, Leviticus 26 and 43. It says, the land also shall be left of them. All right. Talking about the Israelites wouldn't be in the land. The land also shall be left of them, and shall enjoy her Sabbaths while she lieth desolate without them. And they shall accept of the punishment of their iniquity, because they despise my judgments, and because their soul abhorred my statutes. And yet for all that, when they be in the land of their enemies, I will not cast them away, neither will I abhor them, to destroy them utterly, and to break my covenant with them. For I am Yahweh their power. Now you see that Christianity wants you to believe that the Lord stopped dealing with Israel, all right, and start dealing with the heathen, okay, and through faith that the heathen can have these covenants and promises. Now they're part of the covenant. That's incorrect. Verse 45, but I will for their sakes remember the covenant of their ancestors, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt in the sight of the heathen, that I might be their power. I am Yahweh. These are the statutes and the judgments and the laws which Yahweh made between him and the children of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses. All right, this is Numbers 23, 9. Okay, and this is Balaam. All right, and he was paid, all right, to put a curse on Israel. All right, but the Lord put him in a trance. All right, and had him speak these words. It says, from the top of the rocks I see him, and from the hills I behold him. Lo, the people shall dwell alone, and shall not be reckoned among the nations. Who can count the dust of Jacob, and the number of the fourth part of Israel? Let me die the death of the righteous, and let my last end be like his. Okay? So the people is going to be reckoned alone. In Christianity, they try to tell you that, oh, we all gonna be saved, and all right, they have no real idea of what they're talking about. Let's read that in the New Living Translation. I see them from the cliff tops. I watch them from the hills. I see a people who live by themselves, set apart from other nations. Wow. Who can count Jacob's descendants as numerous as dust? Who can count even a fourth of Israel's people? Let me die like the righteous. Let my life end like theirs. Okay? All right. I'm gonna go ahead and close there, and I'm gonna close there. We're gonna come back with part 3. I pray that this lesson was edifying to the next one. Shalom. There's so much meat on this bone.